Welcome to the People's Real Estate Podcast. In this episode, we will be talking about how to downsize the right way, the leverage that you have, the strategies that we have, and other key factors. So stick around. I am joined in today's episode by my other two hosts, Renee and Carlos. Guys, how are we feeling?
Feeling good, man. It's a beautiful day, bro.
Yes, yes.
Good. It's Monday. Just had a great Easter. So happy Easter to everybody.
Yeah.
Yes,
Ready
yes.
to talk real estate.
Yes, it's a good day to talk about real estate. Okay, so guys, so how to downsize the right way? We could start so many places, but let's start with what does it mean to downsize, and who would want to downsize? Why would I want to move from my big house to something smaller?
That's a good question.
Typically people want to move up, right? People typically want to buy a bigger house. So I guess why that's a good place to start. So why would I want to downsize from my house?
All right, man. Appreciate it. So, yeah, man. So it's a great topic, right? And I wouldn't. So it's real estate, brother. So there's all kinds of people trying to accomplish all kinds of things, right? So for us on our side, it's typical. You know, it's typical that someone wants to get a bigger home. It's typical that someone needs a smaller home. Reasons for that. A big one right now with the boomers and stuff is empty nesters, right? Empty nesters, right? Kids left to college, you know, doing their own thing, and you got this big old house to yourself, right? That's a big reason. Or you know, you're getting closer to retirement. You know, with everything going on right now, maybe you want to start a business and you understand you got to make certain sacrifices and maybe downgrade on the housing, but you have more money for business, right? All kinds of reasons, man. Those are some of the reasons I can think off the top of my head.
Okay. So what you're saying is the people who typically want to downsize is, you know, something has changed in their living situation. Kids are gone off to college. Maybe they just don't need their lifestyle doesn't fit the size of that home anymore.
Yeah.
Carlos, would you agree with that?
I will agree. And I think there's other reasons. You know, sometimes people are going through different things in their lives, right? Different situations.
Divorce is given mine. Yeah.
Divorce is a big one. Sometimes somebody may have lost a loved one and they don't need the house, you know, estates. There's many different reasons why you need to downsize. It doesn't necessarily have to be because you're looking to get a smaller home. It could be a life circumstance. Essentially, if you have a home, how are you able to sell your home and buy a home at the same time, you know? And that's why I consider the downsize process is.
Yes. Okay. That's very good, and that's a good way to take us into the next part of it, right? So, okay, my kids have gone off to college. I no longer need this 3,000 square foot house, and I'm ready to buy something small. How do I start, right? What does that process look like? You know, so I'll get back to that point, right? So what I encounter more, what we're going to encounter more is that why are people hesitant to do it, right? Like what's stopping people? Because at the end of the day, like you guys just said, maybe they have a house they need to sell, right? And there's you know, they understand they want to buy a smaller home for X reason, right? So how do you accomplish that? Is what you're asking. But then you can look at it like, but all the pieces are there. Like, why don't they just sell that one and buy that one, right? But that's where it comes into like the pitfalls, right? So, the number one reason I hear is, hey, I don't really have the down payment or the money for another house, right? That's one, and then the other is, am I really going to be able to find the house that I want? Is that house out there for me, right? That's another like pitfall that stops people. Or, you know, a big one is, hey, am I going to have to be basically homeless while I try to find another house, right? I can sell my house, but then I'm going to be homeless trying to find another house, right? And then in this market, everybody's hearing low inventory and high rates. So it's, you know, me as a seller, what motivates me to leave, even though, yeah, I have some pain points, right? But at the end of the day, I'm in my own home, right? Yeah.
So it's, you know, what's going to motivate me, you know, to actually, you know, go from this house to the next one, right? With all these pitfalls in between, because they really are.
Yeah, and these are definitely hurdles for
for us as agents that we have to overcome when we are dealing with somebody who wants to downsize, right?
Yeah.
We have to get down to the core of, why,
Yeah.
and is it really worth it for you?
Yeah.
So, what are some experiences, or what is the process that you guys take with someone that wants to downsize? That they've thought about it, they're ready to take action. What is the next step, Carlos?
Okay, so me personally, I think that it's understanding, right? Sharing information. One of the biggest concerns to people that are looking to downsize or people who own a home is looking to buy another home at the same time is how much money are you going to get from the sale of your home, right? Because that's going to be such a determining factor for what you're going to be able to purchase, how much money you're going to be able to put down. Can you put points to buy down your interest rates? How much money are you going to have saved to put your kids through college or, whatever, start a business? So that's one of the biggest factors is how much proceeds, how much money are you walking away from that table, the closing table with? And then the next is understanding your financial situation to purchase a home. So then that's when you have to get in. Me and Renee was talking about this a little bit earlier, is that having that lender on hand and understanding your financials is very, very key to your success in this process. So,
Yeah. Because
those are some of the main factors.
Yeah, because some people, some sellers, here's the key thing. Some sellers are going to be able to go on and purchase another home without having to sell their home, their current home. They could do that after. I could purchase my home first, and then I can sell after.
Because maybe they just have a successful business, or they just
whatever,
been saving
whatever it
up.
is, they have the money to
They
do
just
it
have
now.
the money for it.
Right.
Correct.
But that's not the majority. The majority of folks, right, have their money tied up in this investment, right? And they don't have the cash on hand to move on to the next house first. So they understand I need to sell mine first. And that's where these fears come in. If I sell it first, what's going to happen? Like, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? I'm going to rent, right?
And then another big thing that I learned is that, and a lot of realtors will contest to this, is that when you're making an offer contingent upon you selling your home, do you have a lot of leverage, as a buyer, right? And if you talk to any realtor, they're going to try to get you to understand, like, hey, you lose leverage when you need to sell your home and you're making your offer contingent. But Renee, he has some good aspects on how you can combat that and different ways and tactics. So this is the beauty of working with a skilled agent who specializes in downsizing and, different avenues like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. So I'd say, just to summarize that, it's talking to an experienced real estate agent, come up with a strategy of what your situation looks like. How is it even worth it, right? Because like you said, you talked about what the seller is gonna net at the end of the day. Because it might not even be worth it for them, right? If the numbers don't make sense to them. So they could just and if for somebody who's been living in the house for, let's say their kids are off to college and they raised their kids in that house, there's a lot of emotional feeling attachment in that. And real estate, there's a lot of emotions that go in this business, So like you guys said, it comes down to numbers and coming up with a strategy and seeing if it's even worth it for them at the end of the day. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, of course. But then I know that there's people listening to us right now. They go, "Well, that sounds great, but you haven't told me anything. Like, how do I do it?"
Yes.
Right. So let's get into that, man.
Okay.
All right. So the strategy we use, right? People's Property Network. So we're gonna sit down. We're gonna assess the situation, right? Number one is motivation. Like you said, what's my motivation here? What am I really trying to accomplish, right? Because sometimes we think we want this, but then you get hit with facts and info and you're like, yeah, maybe that's not the best option for me. So that's where we need to start, because here's the thing. This is what I tell sellers. You have the gold, man. Like, you have what other people want, right? So let's leverage that. Let's use that. And by leverage, I mean, hey, Mr. Buyer, you want to buy my house, correct? Yeah, man. I love your house. X reasons I want it, right? Okay, Mr. Buyer, this is a situation. I also need to buy a house, right? So we're going to use that and we're going to tell, hey, Mr. Buyer, you like it so much. Hey, I'm going to sell it to you and we're going to put that in writing, but I need 60, I need 90, it depends what the situation is, but I need X amount of time to be able to sell you my home because I need to go buy another home. Okay. You know what the buyer's going to say in this market?
Yes, I'll do that. Like I'll wait around, right? Because this is the home. There's low inventory.
Yes.
Right. And so definitely that's what the seller needs to understand, right? They have the golden hand. People are going to wait around for you. So you have the leverage in this whole transaction, right? And then what they have to understand is this is a process, right? It's not going to happen overnight, right? It's a lot of moving parts to this, right? To do it the right way. I can easily say, like I said, let's sell your home. I'll find you a rental. And then, it's a year now and you haven't found another house. And that's what people fear, right? So in our process, that's not going to happen. We're going to eliminate that fear, right? So definitely understand that you have the leverage, right? So what does that mean though exactly? So we need to understand the financial situation. And this is what Carlos was touching on. Let's sit down. Us as professionals, we're going to come in and we're going to say, hey, with our system, we're going to market your home. We expect X. You can have X at the end of the day, right? And then now that we know that you can have X, it's basically, money in hand. What are we going to do with this money? Well, we had this conversation. What is it that you want to accomplish? Renee, I want to accomplish saving $50,000. And then the rest, I could put into the home, into the new home that I'm going to buy. Mm-hmm. And what's that going to do, right? You could buy points, like Carlos says, reduce the interest rate. At the end of the day, give more down payment. The less you borrow at this high rate that everyone's saying, the better for you, right? So you borrow less by putting some of the net from the last sale and putting it into this one, and you minimize the cost, right? Whether it's through interest rate or just simply payment, just giving more money, right?
Okay.
So now we understand the financial picture of what you can accomplish, right? Okay, I'm looking for X. I'm going to have this much in my pocket. I'm going to put this much towards that. That's going to be X monthly. Hey, that makes sense. You know what I mean? I could do that, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So now we know that it makes sense financially, right? So the next step, and this is what I love to tell people. All right, because most agents, this is the secret sauce, man. This is the secret sauce right here. Most agents are not going to take you window shopping, right?
We hate that.
But see, look, my system, our system, it works, man, because if we analyze the motivation and we know that financially you can do it.
But don't let's not skip over that, right?
Yeah.
Let's elaborate in that.
Yeah.
In that a little bit. Why do us as agents hate going window shopping?
Let me touch on that. So
I know Carlos wants to say something.
Right. So as an agent, after you have been around the tire kickers, the window shoppers, and you do not understand their financial, you could show somebody at home $500,000, but they're not even qualified for $250,000, half of that price. So now you're building up expectation. You're building up this person's hopes, their dreams. You're building up your hopes and dreams as an agent, and you're showing them something that's totally outside their qualifications. So where does that put you? So that's the issue that most agents have with window shoppers, is because they just don't understand their true capabilities. And when you give somebody such high dreams, it makes my thing is this, when it comes down to real estate, is I like to get people into homes, let them accomplish their dream, turning their realty into reality, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't like to give people false hopes. And when you do a lot of window shopping, this is what tends to happen. You give people false hopes, and then this essentially will result into them never buying a home. And one of the biggest things that I tell people is, if you get approved for a home, you get your pre-approval, right? And I talk to a lot of people who have had a pre-approval. 10 years later, 15, they never bought a home. And I'd be like, well, how come you never bought a home? You was approved for a home before, but they never bought it. And this comes down to a lot to the agent that they're working with, right? So this is why it's very, very important to work with a skilled agent so they won't set you up for these failures. Mm-hmm. And this is the reason why me personally, and a lot of agents, I think they don't like window shopping.
Yeah. And then buyers, look, real estate, that's the thing, man. Everybody talks about real estate like it's an event. Like you just show up and boom, no, it's a process, yes. Right? So sometimes buyers are at a different stage in their process, right? And sometimes all buyers want to do is just go look at the houses without any commitment of buying the houses. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And what we want as agents, a commitment to you buying that house, right? So that's where the miscommunication and all that breaks down. So what I'm telling you is we are actually willing to go window shopping with you, right? Mm-hmm. Because we understand there's an end result. The end result isn't you buying this house right now, which is what most agents want to do, right? They want the buyer to buy this house, right? Or, right now so I can get paid. That's the truth, right?
By the way, if you have one of those agents, get rid
I
of
mean,
him.
you'll feel the energy, man. You know who's looking out for you or not.
You want to work with somebody that puts your interest before
Yeah, they'll
their,
look out for you, man. So here's the thing. So it's look, like you said, emotional attachment. So it's not only numbers, right? We did the numbers already. We did our due diligence with the numbers. We understand the numbers. Here comes the emotional part, the psychological part. Right. Me as an agent, I see it in this process. It's my job, right, to show you, hey, this is what you can get, right? So if you sell this, you can achieve this, right? Mm-hmm. But in my like, you gotta understand, this person's not renting. They're in a different whole state of mind. This person's comfortable at home. Now, they do have some pain points. This is why you're talking, right? Right. But you need to be able to solve the pain points. And
comes down to motivation.
Exactly. So if I can motivate you by saying, hey, look, it'll cost X, and you go, oh, that makes sense. And then I go, this is what costs X. And they go, that's nice, right? Mm-hmm. Boom, here we go. This is what I'm saying. So this is why we go window shopping. And this is important. You got to tell your seller, this is just window shopping, right? Because here's the thing. Remember, we need to sell your house first. Yeah. We're not even there. We're not even there yet. Yeah, we don't even have a sign. Nobody knows your house is even for sale yet.
We're just getting an idea of what we can do.
Exactly. So is it worth it to even go put a sign and start marketing on your home? That's kind of the thing. So I'm sorry, Carlos, just one more second. So that's the thing. When I say window shopping, it might not just be once. It might be, we need to go out for 2-3 weekends. Hey, how about if you're considering 3 different areas to move to? Yeah. Right? And that's what we're willing to do for the clients, right? But that's the thing. They need to see what's out there. And if I'm showing you, if we saw 10 homes and one house is the one that you like, we probably need to change our strategy up, right? But if we go to a certain area, right, the price point makes sense, the numbers make sense, and then I showed you 5 homes that day and you liked all 5 of them, or you liked 4 of them, it's very likely we're going to get you in a home in that neighborhood, right? Yeah. And that's where we would start the sale, the first part A of the process, which is the sale process. I'm sorry, Carlos.
Yeah, no, I actually was going to touch on that. When in our process, our proven process, us window shopping is not like most people going out there doing window shopping, right? Mm-hmm. When we say window shopping, this is going to be we had a blueprint, right? Mm-hmm. So we already sat down, right? We had a consultation. We let you know how much you're going to be netting from off the sale of your property. And now we're going out there usually we'll talk to a lender first, right? Yeah. Before we go, let you know this is how much you'll be capable of buying if you was to sell your house at this price. All hypothetical at this point in time, right?
Yeah, because some people, Carlos, it's not only space. Some people, what's going to motivate them is that new payment. Some people stop paying for this big old house because I can save money paying for a smaller house. Correct. And that's what you'll find out with a lender, right?
Yep. And then when he's saying we're going to go window shopping, we're just looking at homes that you could see yourself into. The chances of us putting an offer on that home, because you kind of lose leverage because you haven't sold your home.
That's very important.
This is very important piece to capture, right? Is that we're not saying that you're going to go out there and we go window shopping that you're going to be able to find your dream home. Yeah, you may come into your dream home, but it's just to spark and motivate that dream, correct?
To make it possible.
To make it so you can
that's not. I mean, I'll be honest with you. That's the only way you're leaving your house. You're only leaving your house if it makes financial sense and if you can see that what we're talking about is actually out there and it's possible.
There we go. Yeah. And then once you go out there and window shopping, you can see, oh man, this is a beautiful home. I would love to have this house. Yeah. But we have different ways of how we could get you into homes in this neighborhood, right? Yeah. We could farm that neighborhood, right? We could see properties that's coming soon in the neighborhood. We could do all these different techniques to get you into this neighborhood.
If it all makes sense to me and if it all makes sense to you, I'm willing to go knock on every door in that neighborhood for you to find you a house. I mean, because it's worth it at that point.
Yeah. Well, hey, we got a pre-approval already. We got
You're motivated.
That's about to sell their house. It's not like they're in a rental. These people are going to sell their house. So they're going to buy your house. It's almost a guarantee.
And that's what we were talking about earlier, right? Because in our industry, when you make contingencies are, your contract or you buying this depends on this, right? So when you're depending on the sale of your home, right? On the other side of it, some agents will take it like, I don't know, man. How about if you don't sell it? You know what I mean? Oh, then So here's the thing, like you just said, man. If it's not a tall tale sign that this person is committed to buying a home and put their home on the market and it's under contract, like I don't know what else will tell you that they're leaving the house.
That's a great way to put it.
So that's how we'll leverage it for the sellers. We'll leverage that to the people telling, oh, but you depend on. Yeah, we depend on moving out of here, buddy. Like you know what I mean? That's the whole thing. So I don't. It's all state of mind. So when I talk to other professionals like myself, I try to put them in in my seller's shoes
basically like, hey man, what do you think they're doing? They're not playing games. Like their house is under contract. Like they're buying this house, brother. You know what I mean?
They're serious.
Yeah, these are committed people, right?
Okay.
All right. So we're window shopping. Like I said, hey, we went out this weekend. We saw 3 homes on Saturday. We saw another 3 on Sunday, right? Monday, I call you and I say, hey, Mr. Seller, what did you think? Man, Renee, that one neighborhood you took me to, and we saw 3 different. There was 3 options for me there. That I would have taken any one of those.
Loved all 3 of them.
There you go. Then, well, you know what, Mr. Seller, it's time to list your home. You know what I mean? Or Mrs. Seller, it's time to list your home. It's time because now what we need to do is we need to find a buyer for your home. Remember, we started with leverage. What are we going to do? We're going to tell this buyer, hey, wait for us while we go find a home. You see what I'm saying? And because now it shouldn't be that hard. Now it's just timing now for the right house to come along. Because we have the money, we figure that out, and we determine where and what you like and where you want to buy, right? So now it's just a matter of time, right? And that's what it's going to take to sell your home, just a matter of time, right? So here's the thing. As professionals, right, I work with the other agent, I explain our situation, and we set this up in alignment, right? So this is how we've done it successfully. Basically, we line up closings on the same day. Hey, you could be selling your house this morning, Carlos, and signing for your new house this afternoon. Do you understand? We can pull that off, right? That's what we do. So that way you're not homeless, man, right? And you sold your house, you have the proceeds, and now later that afternoon we buy the other home. We can line that up. When you call somebody and say, hey, I have a date and time for our closing, you think they're going to go, oh, no, I don't want to. No, people are like, yeah, let's do that, right? And that's what we need to figure out. And it's timing, right? So that's our strategy. That's how we would do it without you basically, renting for a while in this market, right? It's like, hey, we're going to secure your house. So you just go from one to the next. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, right? Yeah. But because we've done this so many times and because we understand the pitfalls, right? We've lined it up. We've created a system, and that's why we're willing. I'm telling you, not a lot of agents are going to be willing just to window shop just because you want to go look at houses, right? We're willing to do that because we understand it's part of the total process that's going to take you from point A to point B.
Right. So that you guys heard it here first. If you guys have any more questions and you want to go into more detail, you want to book a one-on-one consultation with any of us, please feel free. We will have all of our information down in the descriptions. And if you have a question that we might have not covered, because then again, it's a case-by-case thing. Every single situation is different. And that's the thing about real estate, it's not a cookie cutter process.
Yeah, it's not a one size fits all.
Exactly. So if you are thinking about this, or if you have any more questions and you want to book a one-on-one consultation with us, please feel free to reach out to us, DM us, go check out our website and check out our content.
Yeah, and just one more thing.
Yeah.
I think the viewers have to understand, there's no commitment. Like, honestly, like if you speak to a professional, a good agent, what they want is your relationship. Yeah. Right? They don't necessarily want to sell your home right now. If that's what you're feeling from them, that's probably not the agent for you, right? A good agent wants to build a relationship, right? So that's the whole thing. We're not necessarily, don't feel like, I feel this is like an issue, right? That it's because you're talking about large numbers, big transactions, right? People feel like, oh man, like I don't want to make a commitment. Yeah. Man, I personally don't even know if you can achieve what you want to do. We don't know. And that's what we ask you, hey, give us a call. We'll put you in with, in touch with the right people, right? Explain the process to you step by step. As you guys can see, we have a process, right? That way you feel comfortable, right, to move forward, man, because that comfort level, and that's what I'm saying, that comes from people, oh man, this guy's gonna make me sign a bunch of paperwork and he's gonna commit. I don't even know if you can do what you want to do. Let's find out.
It's just like when you go to, and I think I heard this analogy from you, or I heard it somewhere, but it's a great analogy. It's a great way to think about it. It's like going to the doctor, right? When you go to the doctor, you just go. The first thing you do is go for a consultation to get an overall idea of what's wrong with you, to diagnose your issue, your problem, right? So and that's the same thing when it comes to real estate. If you're thinking about doing any of this, right? It's first get an idea, like you said, see if it's even possible, or if you're even ready to do that. So
great way to look at it. And I have to touch that real quick, because kind of like you're saying, you go into the doctor, you get your consultation. Hey, all three of us, I mean, God forbid, and we stay healthy and everything, but we go to doctor, all three of us can have diabetes.
I'm strong. I don't know what you talking about.
Hold on. Diabetes, though, which is just something that a lot of people suffering,
people struggle
right?
with, yeah.
But your diabetes could be different than your diabetes could be different than my diabetes.
And we're all going to have different medicine,
We all going to have different medicine.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So real estate is like that, right? It's like we could all have a house in a brand new construction place, right? But your house is going to be different than your house, even though it's very similar. This isn't cars, right? Your Honda Accord, my Honda Accord, they're going to be the exact same Honda Accord in 2020 if we get the same model made, right?
And the same price.
It's going to be the exact same
price.
Unless you get
but I bet you all our payments are going to be different.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, that's just how it is, man.
That's how I look at real estate. Everything is different in real estate, right? And this is why you have to really break down each case by case scenario, right? And then when we talk about, and it's funny because Carlos, he was talking about this earlier. We were talking about interest rates, right? I mean, we talk about interest rates are high for real estate. Currently, it is, but then you look at your credit card
compared to
rate,
what though?
Right? You look at your car interest rate, right? I mean, now is your interest rate that high when it comes down to your house? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So these are the different things that you got to really breaking down. And then when we was talking about the consultation, I really think in real estate is one of the few business that you could get a true free consultation.
Yeah.
I don't think in cars and
maybe without the expectation that we're going to do business today.
Yeah.
Correct.
You understand?
Yeah,
Because I'm not going to sell your house. Well, I could probably in one day,
we
but
could-
you don't
we
want
could do
that.
it,
Wouldn't be
you
good
know?
for you though.
Yeah.
So that would put you in a bad position.
Yeah.
And that brings us back down to what we were talking about real estate. Real estate is a networking, it's a person-to-person type business, right? Yeah. It's a connection. That's what true real estate is. Not, I mean, yes, it's sales, but real estate is so much deeper than that because us as realtors, we see so much, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We're therapists, right?
Yeah, we wear many hats.
We definitely do.
We wear many hats.
We wear many hats.
That's the beauty of real estate and working with a good agent that's not in it for the dollar, but it's in it for the relationship.
Yeah, relationships, man. I mean, like I was just telling I can't remember who I was telling, but they're like, oh, they're gonna sell. I was like, I've been talking to this person for like 3 years. You know what I mean? Like it's like, you feel me, Carlos?
Right?
I've been talking about maybe they'll sell it this year. I mean, they've been talking to me about selling this for the last 3 years. So when you first start in real estate, that's the thing that it's hard for you to grasp that. You know what I mean? You want business now, and I get it, right? But no, man, like with the years comes, you understand the pitfalls, right? And that's why we come up with systems like this to get people from point A, because it's hard, man. It's a lot of moving pieces, right? But so back to my original point, commitment. Don't feel committed. You don't have to sign it. We're just like you said with the analogy with the doctor. It'd be odd if you walked into the doctor and the doctor just came out here's your prescription. You'd be like, bro, but you
don't. I didn't even tell you what's wrong.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So that's the whole thing. So if someone's already offering you solutions or an answer, a direct answer without even checking up on you and analyzing you, that's probably not the right answer. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's also, a free consultation is just to get a feel for the person that that you are thinking about getting into business with, because phone conversations can be way different than when you meet that person face to face. You might not like them when you first meet them face to face.
You might not vibe with them.
You might not feel the energy might not be there, and this is true. So
yeah, they got to look at. I think the consumer, when it comes to realtor, they need to look at it as like almost an interview process.
Yeah, and I think you guys are right when you say that there's this hesitation that when you as soon as you say to somebody, hey, let's book a consultation, they're like, oh,
it's sales commitment.
People don't like commitment. People. It doesn't matter what form it comes. People hesitate when they hear commitment.
What do you really want?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but honestly, it's just I tell people it's to educate them, right?
That's
and that's the real reason. It's to give you an idea, to give you more information. It's only going to take a couple minutes out of your day, 30, 45 minutes, depending on, and how long you can deliver that information.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what kind of consultation they're looking for.
Exactly.
If it's just like a meet and greet and
Yeah.
we're just gonna talk a little bit, that's fine. But if you're like, hey Renee, like, no, I'm
If you want to get into
I'm kind of
nitty-gritty
yeah.
of
You
it.
want to get nitty gritty? Then I need to call a lender, and we're gonna have a lender for you at that
Yeah.
table. They know they can answer the financial question because we're not lenders, we're not financial advisors. Of
course.
we're just
Well,
we're
I'm a
house
lender as
we're
well.
house finance. Carlos is the lender. Sorry.
Yeah.
Correct.
He's like, put some
He
respect
has
on
his
my
license.
name.
Yes, correct.
License, so
My man's a dual threat.
Yeah. So no, but in terms of that, yeah, us as real estate agents, it's we take pride in learning and knowing about the lending side too.
Yeah, we
'Cause
have
it's important.
Yeah, we have to
It's
understand
important.
that side.
You know, and not a lot of people know this, but you know, there's agents out there that they just focus on knowing the real estate and not really focus
a
on
lot of
like, you
moving
know,
pieces in real estate.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think we had this in another episode. Like, it depends who you deal with, man.
Yeah.
Like if you're dealing with people that make over $100,000 and have 800 something credit, then yeah, as an agent, there's really not much for you to be worried about or do, right? But if you're dealing with people that on the more average or normal side, which is like, hey, look, I got a 620 credit score, right? Hey, look, I work this job, but I also do this part time.
Well, let me ask you this,
Yeah.
Renee. What are the bare minimum qualifications? Let's just say I want to buy a home. What would you say the bare minimum qualifications?
Well, that would be you, right? That would be you. Now, but from what so check me if I'm wrong, right? So this is where we're gonna see the knowledge, right? So from what I understand, if they can qualify for an FHA loan, FHA will take credit scores as low as 580. Correct?
That's correct.
All right, there we go.
believe it or not, some people at home are gonna be like 580.
They told me 700's credit score.
They told me I could only buy a home if I
20%.
got 750.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's one check, at least a 580 credit score.
Yeah, minimum.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we need to have employment,
Got to have employment.
right? Currently employed.
Yep.
And
currently
they're going to look
employed.
at what, the last 2 years?
Yep. At least be on your job for 2 years.
And here, let's just kind of talk about that, right? I actually had a lady this morning call me, and she says, "Hey, Renee," I said, "Hey, look, how come you haven't called me back about the approval?" So she said, "Look, I was thinking about it, and I guess I did a poor job in explaining." And she said, I was thinking about it, and last year I worked one job. And this year I just did the taxes for this year of that employment. So that's why I don't come to you, because I don't have 2 years of employment. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be at the same job, right? It's just 2 years of employment history. You see what I'm saying? And obviously it's got to make sense.
There's two sides to that.
Okay.
Right? So in some circumstances, you could have 1 year.
1 year, right?
Right.
There you go.
So you can have 1 year. If you're self-employed, you could just have 1 year of taxes. It really depends. But then there's some circumstances where you just graduated college, right? And you got your job letter, your employment letter, and you can get a house with that because you could use your education as considered as employment.
Yeah.
There we go. That's
And then
an excellent point.
Not a lot of people know that.
Excellent point. So just to repeat that, to recap,
Yeah.
if you're someone that was a student
There was a student.
and now has 1 year, right, of
You just need
employment,
the employment letter.
That's-
You don't even need to have one.
you don't even have the experience.
You don't even have
just need an offer letter.
Just the offer letter.
There you go.
Once
There
about
you
to
go.
Get your graduation date. You may not even graduated yet, and you get your offer letter, and you know you're going to graduate.
Yeah.
That right there, you get your.
Man, I even heard there's programs that if you use that mortgage program, they'll help you eliminate some school debt.
Yeah.
Oh,
School loan debt.
they have some programs like in Maryland. They got Smart Buy where I think it's up to 40 or 50,000. Now there's some
They got stipulations,
the
requirements.
stipulations.
Yeah, of
It has to pay off all of the student loan debt. I mean, most schools you're going to have more than 50,000.
Yeah.
But there's some
It
people
depends.
that it depends, right?
Yeah. How about if you've been paying into it a while and you only owe 20 now?
There you go.
Boom, you could buy a house and have the help to eliminate that debt.
Now think about this though. Think about the interest rates that's associated with student loans, right?
yeah.
Now just think about you paying that off. How much money are you really saving? See, this is why you got to really talk to the experts because they could really break down to you the financials, and this is why that consultation is so. And I just want to do a quick segue right here. If you are learning something from this podcast, what we would love if you could just give us a review on Google.
Yeah,
Just
Google
let us
would be
know,
great.
because man, we need those. We love
Definitely give us some feedback. Let us know. And if you want us to cover a certain topic, let us know in the comments and send us. We'll leave our socials linked in the description. Send us a direct message. And we'll cover that topic.
All right. So to recap,
Yeah, just to recap, okay. I know we kind of strayed a little bit, but that's kind of how it goes, you know. And,
real estate, man.
That's real estate. You know,
Not
we go
cookies.
down
It's
rabbit
real
holes,
estate.
we go on tangents, but at the end of the day, it's all real estate. And just to recap, right? How to downsize is
The right way.
the right way, of course.
The right way.
Right way.
Not leave you homeless.
Yes.
I'm talking to people right now because when it was hot, right? People were just selling their homes to get the max price. But now then the rates flipped on them.
Yeah.
Right. I got a couple. I'm going around with a couple clients like right now like that, and the rates flipped on them. Right. It went from like a 4 to a 7. Right now they're coming back down. Right. But that made it so that they couldn't afford what they were talking about.
Their buying power went
right?
down.
Or their buying power went down, or that's not what they wanted to pay, man. That's not what I sold my house for.
Of course.
So that's the whole thing. And now they don't have a house. Now they're renting and paying big money for rent.
So now they're renting. So all the money that they
Yeah, a lot. Well, maybe not all of it, but they're eating into it.
They're eating
Yeah,
into it,
they're
right?
eating into it now.
And
You know what I
tell
mean?
People rent is 100% interest rate,
Yeah.
right?
You worried about the rates, man? That's 100%. Yeah, correct.
Interest rate. So
So that right. So I feel the right way to help someone transition to a home is to already have the other home lined up, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, come on, don't leave me homeless, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So so that's that's one of the big points that we attack with our strategy.
To recap, yeah. So how to downsize the right way. You come talk to an experienced professional, right? Come up with a strategy, a game plan, right? Run numbers. Go window shopping.
Let's go window shopping.
Let's go window
Let's go look at some
shopping.
houses, man.
Let's
Get
have fun
excited.
with it.
Exactly. Let's locate something that's available in the market and see if there's anything that you like.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
See if it's worth it. And once we're able to locate something that you like, let's act on it.
So to get back at that, right? Sometimes it's not necessarily the property, right? Because see, that's the thing. The mentality of someone that doesn't have a property is I'm going to look for the property, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes a lot of the people downsizing is just neighborhoods. Maybe it's senior living. You see what I'm saying? Whatever it is. So sometimes it's not that we're gonna go look exactly for your property right now, right? We're window shopping the neighborhood. We're window shopping, the transportation. We're window shopping, the amenities, right? So it's not just the property we're window shopping. We're gonna go out to window shop to see if what you want is possible.
Right.
Right.
Right. Because we want to keep in mind that when we're window shopping, the chances of that being a house that we're going to buy is not
Yeah.
the deal. I mean, we could make that happen.
I mean, we could try to make it happen, but remember, what are we telling you?
Yeah.
Leverage,
You lose
right?
Leverage. And this real estate is all about leverage.
Yeah. So now if we do that and we just go for that house, now we're working on their terms, right? And that's going to cause you stress.
Cost you money.
Cost you money sometimes. Yeah, exactly. So the way we like to keep it is keep it in order, and your house is the leverage. What we're trying to sell, that's what we're going to leverage, right? So yeah.
Okay. And then after we've located the house and we've done all that,
Let's put your house for sale.
Put
Let's
your
get
house-
it on the market. Let's see who's going to buy it. Let's see what they're offering, what their terms are. Right, man. I've had people stay in their own house for an extra month for free. Do you understand? There's not a lot of houses out here,
Yeah.
people. So when you put your house, that's gold,
Yeah.
right? And then you can dictate terms. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And then you can use that to go on and without so much stress. And to be able to time things out properly, we can use that time that this buyer that's going to buy your house is giving us to do things the right way
Yeah.
without being stressed and leaving you homeless.
Yeah.
So once again, it's not always about that dollar sign. I mean, sometimes it's about timing. Sometimes it's about the stress that's associated
Yeah.
with the transaction, right?
A lot of fear. We didn't mention that. A lot of people, they're like, man, look, that's too. I'm gonna stay in my house. It's. I understand I'm paying an extra $800,000, but it's just so stressful.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, hey, fellas, let's do this podcast. Let's talk about our strategy because I feel our strategy alleviates a lot of those pain points. Right. And it's a process. And a lot of people look at it like, oh, man, I got to move fast. It's a process. People this moves as fast as you move. We explain, we give you the information, and then you take the decisions. One of my mentors taught me when you have systems, you don't worry about the outcome because a system makes the outcome predictable.
Exactly.
Right. So that's where we can sit here and tell you, I can sit here and tell you, I'm happy to go window shop with you. Right. Because if I know the money's in order.
Yes.
And here's the thing, as an agent, I don't know, man. If you tell me, hey, I want to pay $1,200 and I want to live in Silver Spring, I'm going to say, well, you better come up with a lot of down payment. Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can
So
do
I'm the
it,
filter
but-
to a lot of things too. Like us, the agents, we're the filters. We'll let you know off of just the lender meeting. We can say, hey,
that's not going to be possible.
Yeah.
Or that's possible, but not what you're thinking. It's possible here.
Yeah.
Do you want to go check that out?
And let me just touch on this real
Yeah.
quick. And the reason why we're so confident in this is because we have done it before.
Oh, it's proven. Yeah,
It's a proven result.
Check out the Google reviews.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
with that being said, just like we was talking about going to the doctor, you going to a surgeon. You go to a surgeon and he be like, "Hey, this is my first brain surgery." How comfortable are you going to really be using that surgeon, right?
I'm walking straight out that
Yeah,
surgery.
you know, like unless that's only thing you have and there's no other surgeon in a 100-mile radius, right?
Yeah.
And you need the operation right there.
Yeah.
But I would rather work with somebody who have proven
has done it a
results,
couple times
have
before.
done it
Yeah.
a couple of times, and like you said, you did not leave nobody homeless. You didn't leave nobody on the street. You didn't leave them in a rental.
Yeah.
So
Bad
that right
situation,
there-
man. Eating up their equity.
There you go.
You know
So
what I
you
mean? Nah,
avoid all that.
Yeah.
Window
I'm sorry. Window shop. Figure out if the right situation is out there, and then we list your home. We leverage that, and we go out and find you your new house that you like, man. You know what I mean?
And then we'll close on the same day.
Yeah, we go the
Sell your
same
house,
day.
and you
We've had it
get
the
it
same
to
day.
move
We've had it the next day. We sell today. You buy tomorrow, right? You get the
Yeah.
keys tomorrow, right? So one night, maybe you make I had a couple that made a thing out of it. They went to a nice hotel. You know what I mean? They made it a thing, bro.
Hey,
You know what I mean?
there you go.
Hey, yeah, man. Real estate can be fun, man. It doesn't always have to be stressful. It's just that, you need to work with someone that's been there, and it just has answers to your questions, basically.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Has solutions. Not just
exactly.
answer solutions, right?
Yeah. At the end of the day, we are problem solvers.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Yeah. Anything else we want to add, fellas, before we wrap it up?
Just if you learned something, please give us those reviews.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, check us out, follow us. We're going to share a lot of information. So
Yes. Feedback. Feedback is something
Feedback
that
is
we need, right? We don't claim that we are perfect. we are a work in progress. So you guys' feedback is very important to us. And
Did you learn anything? That's what I
Yes.
want to know.
if you learned
Did you
something,
learn
that's
anything,
what
man?
I want to know.
or
Exactly.
or is it
That's what we want to know.
or is it that you didn't learn anything and we talked about nothing?
I doubt it, man. I doubt it. There was some
if
nuggets
you
in
didn't
there.
learn nothing, we want to know that too.
Yeah, no, we really do.
So
Look,
we get
good
better.
and the bad, we want to know it. At the end of the day, feedback is just knowledge.
We need it.
We need it.
All right, man.
All right, that's been today's episode.
Downsizing the right way.
Downsizing the right way. We will see you guys in the next episode.